Times now with me, Priya Behel. As the Iran-Israel conflict escalates, the focus has now firmly shifted from the airstrikes to nuclear fears. G7 leaders have also issued a rare unified statement. The message is unequivocal. Iran must never have a nuclear weapon. The G7 have also backed Israel's right to self-defense, but called for civilian protection and an immediate de-escalation. The summit also committed to safeguarding its global energy markets from the shock of this conflict. After initial reluctance, American President Donald Trump has also signed this statement before leaving the summit early. The US president has also said that America is not just looking at a ceasefire, it is looking at something bigger.
Just posted right before we took off that you're not leaving because of a ceasefire. Why are you? Can you elaborate?
We're looking at better than a ceasefire. We're not looking for a ceasefire. I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. That was Emmanuel, nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. But we're not looking. We're looking for better than a ceasefire. An end, a real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
So something that will be permanent.
Yeah, or giving up entirely.
Is that okay too? Are you closer? Is that possible? Is that possible in the next 24, 48 hours?
Certainly possible. Complete give up. That's possible, yeah. Doing pretty well. Right now we're doing pretty well. Remember, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. We don't have to go too deep into it. They just can't have a nuclear weapon. I want people to be safe. And that's always possible. A thing like that could happen. I just want people to be safe. We'll come down so hard if they do anything to our people. We'll come down so hard that the gloves are off so beautifully. Now, I think they know not to touch our troops.
Now, Donald Trump's latest claim on not just looking for a ceasefire between Israel and Iran comes after French President Emmanuel Macron at the G7 summit reacted to Trump's dramatic early departure. Macron claimed that the US president was considering the prospect of a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Macron's claim didn't go down well, however, with Donald Trump, as you just heard, who earlier took to Truth Social and said that the possible ceasefire between Israel and Iran is not the reason behind his early departure. He asserted there is something much bigger than that. Trump also sniped at Macron and said he always gets it wrong. Here is what Macron said.
Il y a deux choses. La première, le président s'est exprimé il y a quelques minutes pour dire qu'il y avait des discussions qui étaient en cours, ce qui est une bonne chose. Et donc, si les États-Unis d'Amérique peuvent obtenir un cessez-le-feu, c'est une très bonne chose. Et la France le soutiendra et nous le souhaitons. Il est absolument essentiel que toutes les frappes de part et d'autre qui se font contre des infrastructures énergétiques, administratives, culturelles et encore plus contre la population civile cessent. Rien ne les justifie, rien. Et elles sont, elles, absolument intolérables.
Meanwhile, Israel has also expanded its strikes on Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Air raids have hit critical power installations at Natanz, the heart of Iran's uranium enrichment efforts. Above-ground facilities at Natanz have been severely damaged. While the underground cascade halls remain intact, satellite images show the surface infrastructure in absolute ruins. Israeli military's top official has also communicated details of Israel's recent onslaught.
לפני מספר שעות תקפנו את מרכז התקשורת של המשטר האיראני ששימש את הכוחות המזוינים של איראן. המרכז שהותקף משמש כרשות השידור האיראנית. על פי המודיעין שבידינו, המרכז שימש את כוחות לקידום פעולות צבאיות בכסות אמצעים ונכסים אזרחיים. פעילות המרכז התבצעה בשליחות והכוונה ישירה של משמרות המהפכה. המשמרות המהפכה קורא לאורך שנים להשמדת מדינת ישראל ולרצח העם. טרם התקיפה הזהרנו את האוכלוסייה במרחב ופינינו אותה כדי למנוע ככל הניתן את הפגיעה בבלתי מעורבים. מדובר בפגיעה נוספת ביכולות הצבאיות של משמרות המהפכה.
Now, the fodder site near Qom, buried deep within a mountain, has so far been spared direct damage. But the message from Israel is clear. Iran's nuclear ambitions will not be tolerated. In fact, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a chilling warning to Iran, has said that killing Khamenei won't escalate the conflict but will end the war. He made this comment while speaking to ABC. Before you get you the excerpts of what Netanyahu told ABC, listen into this comment from him where he called Iran a cancer.
זה כמו סרטן, אתה יודע שיש לך סרטן שעומד להרוג אותך. אתה עוקר את הסרטן, אתה עושה גם טיפולים אחרים, ויכול להיות שהוא יחזור יום אחד, אבל אני מעריך שאנחנו מרחיקים אותם, בוא נגיד, הרבה זמן. אני לא יכול לפרט כי יש לנו הערכות טובות, ואנחנו לא מפסיקים. יש לנו עוד מטרות, אנחנו הולכים באמת לעשות כאן טיפול שורש. אנחנו פגענו בתחילת המלחמה, בכוח בעצם בבחירי המדענים, עד עכשיו חיסלנו 10, עוד היד נטויה, יש כמה שעוד נשלים אותם. אנחנו פגענו במתקן הגרעין ההעשרה המרכזי של איראן, נתן פגיעה קשה מאוד. אנחנו פעלנו נגד והשמדנו תעשיות ייצור צנטריפוגות. אני פשוט מקריא, מתקן המרת אורניום, שהוא חיוני לפריצת נשק לגרעין, גם בו פגענו, ועוד היד נטויה, אנחנו ממשיכים להשמיד מטרות גרעין באופן שיטתי.
Now, amidst assassination attempt claims coming from all sides and charges flying thick and fast, Benjamin Netanyahu has now spoken about Kill Khamenei plot. When he was speaking to a channel, he was asked about whether killing Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the top leader of Iran, was on the cards when it came to war plans of Israel. And here is what he said. He said, killing Khamenei would not lead to an escalation. In fact, it would end the war. Says that killing him will not escalate the war, because that's the question that was put by the reporter to Benjamin Netanyahu, that don't you think that if you have plans like that, it is going to make things worse? He says killing Khamenei will not escalate. In fact, it would end this entire conflict. He also went on to say that Khamenei is like modern Hitler, and the top bosses of nuclear plant that were targeted are like Hitler's nuclear army. Forever war is Iran's desire, is what Benjamin Netanyahu would have the world believe. Iran brought us to the brink of a nuclear war, is also what he has said. Remember, we are also talking at a time when Iranian parliament has been mulling a proposal to withdraw from NPT. Israel is standing up to evil forces, is what Netanyahu is saying. And then he says it is not just his country's war, it is a war that eventually is going to impact the United States as well, in order to justify how US has been providing support and taking Israel's side in defending itself from Iranian attack. But as politics over Israel versus Iran continues, let's get you a sense of what the ground situation looks like in the Middle East. In the latest, Israel has attacked Iranian state broadcaster IRIB and interrupted a live broadcast. It was interrupted by a loud explosion. That shocking moment of impact was in fact caught on camera as TV anchor Sahar Imami was denouncing Israel's strikes on Iran. Just that moment, a blast went off and smoke and debris filled the entire screen. You can see those visuals playing out on your screens right now here as well. This footage shows the female anchor fleeing the studio as a voice is heard saying, "God is greatest."
We are doing everything within our power to minimize civilian casualties. We aim targets that connected to the regime. And if there are civilian casualties, we regret that. Iran, on the other side, is doing exactly the opposite. They send those ballistic missiles into the cities. And unlike, we had a conflict with Iran a few months ago. Back then, they were targeting military bases, Air Force bases. This time, it's a different case. This time, they are targeting the cities. We are doing everything within our power to minimize civilian casualties. We aim targets that connected to the regime. And if there are civilian casualties, we regret that. Iran, on the other side, is doing exactly the opposite. they send those ballistic missiles into the cities. And unlike, you know, we had a conflict with Iran a few months ago. Back then they were targeting military bases, Air Force bases. This time it's a different case. This time they are targeting the cities.
Now, you've heard those statements coming in. Let's now take you through the entire list of top brass that has been decimated by Israel since this war began. Those are the top leaders of Iran that have been decimated, starting with Ali Shadmani, who was the wartime chief of staff of Iran's armed forces. He is said to have been handpicked by Ayatollah Khamenei himself. Major General Mohammad Baghain, Chief of Staff of Iran's armed forces before him, who was also eliminated. The Chief of Iranian GC, Major General Hossein Salami. Major General Ghulam Ali Rashid, Commander of Qatan Al-Anbiya Central Headquarters. Ismail Q, who was a Quds Force Commander of IRGC. Amir Ali Hazideh. G. Mahrabi, Mohammad Rabbani, Dr. Mohammad Behto Tehranchi, who's a senior nuclear scientist, as well as F. Abbasi, former head of IAEA. All of them have been completely eliminated. Israel is saying it is not going to back out of this offensive. Iran, according to the latest information, is although looking for some sort of a stall to this escalation. The IAEA, meanwhile, which is the world's central intergovernmental forum for scientific and technical cooperation in the nuclear field, has confirmed there has been no radiation leak outside these sites so far. The agency's chief has warned that repeated strikes could cause chemical or radiological contamination, especially if stored uranium gas is damaged. The IAEA's emergency board has said that any strike on a nuclear site risks not just local damage, but regional radiation crisis. The fear is not of a nuclear bomb, but of leaks, contamination, and a breakdown in global nuclear safety.
Military escalation threatens lives, increases the chance of a radiological release with serious consequences for people and the environment, and delays indispensable work towards a diplomatic solution for the long-term assurance that Iran does not acquire nuclear weapons. Consistent with the objective of the IAEA and its statute, I call on all parties to exercise maximum restraint to avoid further escalation.